here. My co-host is not here at the moment because ahead of us is a ton of traffic. I took a screenshot of the traffic, and it's basically was telling me that the next 8 miles are going to take an hour, and I'm about 2 miles into this 8 mile journey to get Ulrich, when normally this would have only taken me 20 minutes, and that's with a little bit of traffic here and there. But Donald Trump is in the Bronx, and the traffic is insanity. Donald Trump is doing a rally at Katona Park. Is it Katona? I love Katona Park. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's no Central Park, but when you look at what they had to do to make Central Park, it's never really the same. At least not for me. You know, I learned that so many people were displaced because of Central Park. So many farmers, they dug up graves and they did a bunch of horrible things, you know. People were paid to muscle the homeowners to sell. A lot of corruption, a lot of evil. So this Katona Park is a beautiful park. Every time I go to Katona Park, I look around and I just go, like, wow, it's so nice. Tennis courts, baseball fields, soccer fields. It's just a huge ground. They have so many like little sections because it's like cars just driving by on there, like cutting across the park, so to speak. But I am in major traffic on my way to get my co-host, Ulrich. You know Ulrich, come on. The educator. The guy, my friend. And I did not want it to appear that I was running late. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I started on time. I started on time. I said, I'm going to start on time instead of canceling it for another hour and say, whoops, it's going to be 7 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. I got my cherries. The bag was full all the way up to here 3 miles ago. I just tore them down. I got a whole tissue full of seeds because I don't want to chuck them out the window I don't know what like who, but I didn't want to do that. And don't get me wrong, the reason why I caught myself from saying whatever I was possibly going to say is because I do not want I do sometimes chuck them out. I'll like catch a few and then let them go. And I even sometimes go and spit them out. I have been known to spit out a cherry pit or two. I've done it. Am I guilty of it? One person's guilt is another person's.
In a quarter mile, keep left to stay on Cross County Parkway. Follow signs for Sawmill River Parkway.
What? I have my... Okay, I see it. Look, it's moving much faster than it told me.
Keep left to stay on Cross County Parkway.
Cross County Parkway. Keep left. What happened to all that traffic?
2 miles, use any lane to take the Sawmill Parkway South exit toward New York City.
I see someone trying to get my attention. I see someone, I can't read that far, and it's a bit of a sun glare in my face, so, if you really want to get my attention, check out my Cash App. That's $sign Elvis Rosenberg. The E and the R are capitalized, but it's one word, Elvis Rosenberg, and that's B-E-R-G. So we have, someone is trying to get my attention. Who is this person? I can't tell. Not from here. No, something. Is that red face? Who is that? Hello! Out there. In the verse. In the internet of things. In this web of... Whatever. What web is this? It's a web of something, I'm sure. I just finished eating. I was dashboard dining again. I was dashboard dining over at the ShopRite, having their $7.99 rotisserie chicken, and I ate the whole half of it. I was like, I got the little package of knife, spoon, and fork. And as you can see, I did not use anything but the knife. There's the spoon and the fork still in here. Because I just cut the breast from the top and then just section pieces off. I then now dip the chicken into the oil, the juices, the love, the broth. And I quickly, and mind you, my roll of paper towels is here, so I'm like covered right here, the whole front. I wouldn't make a mess. I used those. Then after wiping my hands, I used those paper, and I used the water because I'm on the water now. Boom. I'm drinking one of these a day. It's not easy, but I'm doing it. And I then wash my hands, wash my face. Then I pull out I reach in here on the side. Then I pull out the cocoa butter. Then I hit the fingertips and fingernails and rub that cocoa butter all around. And I hit right here. Boom. So I am ready for this pod. I've eaten my chicken for the day. And if I get hungry, I might eat the rest of the chicken, which it doesn't really happen. I'm doing like a half a chicken a day, and that's it. And of course, I'm doing the cherries for the last few days. And let me tell you, anyone who doesn't know, I am suffering from what you would refer to as gout. Gout! I tell you, it's gout! And everything that we know about gout, one of the things I've also learned is that I'm talking to a good friend named Kyle Mays. That's my guy, man. He's like, me and this dude, as we get older, we might be like brothers, man. Like, really close. I really appreciate him. He's a good friend. And we were talking the other day, and I was telling him about my gout. And I was like, why aren't there huge posters of the big toe just vibrating like this with big red, this big pulsating red thing around the toe and the ankle, just billboards on the trains that should be having gout alerts and the gout reports and all these different gout situations. Why don't I know about gout until I have gout? I've only heard one other person speak about gout, and this was about a year ago. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and he was saying that the doctors think he have gout because his foot has been hurting And I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yo, could you read this stuff that they gave me? And I was like, yeah, sure. Show me the paperwork. So I go through this whole entire list of all the things that would give you gout, which is like the red meats, which is the alcohol, all the different things, the spicy foods. And that was it. I read it all to him. And when I got to the alcohol part, he was like, all right, I don't want to hear it. I heard enough, And I was like, this is probably the most important part for you. He was like, no. Like, he didn't even want to hear that he couldn't have another beer. He didn't want to think about that. Whatever, everything else they said. But what's crazy is they did talk about sugary drinks and stay away from sugary drinks. But it was like, I read it. Is it because it didn't have any affect on me at the time? I wasn't able to relate? I don't know. Possibly. But that was the only thing I ever knew about gout. So now I get gout, or I give myself gout, a self-inflicted gout. Gout is not something that happens to you and no. Gout is something that is 100% self-inflicted. I put this on myself. Why isn't there information? Why isn't there advocacy? Why isn't there places where a person can get the right information? Why isn't there this huge push? And my boy goes, my friend, he says, well, those are men. That sounds, that from what you've told me, this is a man's issue. No one cares about men's issues. And I was like, wow, man. That's why I'm telling everyone I have gout. Just the word gout is so, to me, it doesn't even roll off the tongue. It just gout. That out. That get out. Get out. It does this thing where it just sounds like, ew, who wants to learn about that? Who wants to study this? Who wants to know this? Nobody. The word gout is just so... And I will tell you that I want to put it out there. I want the world to know about this gout.
In 600 feet, use any lane to take the Sawmill Parkway South exit toward New York City.
I think the world should know about gout. I think anyone who is approaching 50...
Use any lane to take the Sawmill Parkway South exit.
...needs to, or even 35, 40, 45, 50.
In a quarter mile, merge onto Sawmill River Parkway South.
I'm not saying it's too late because I'm 50 and I'm going to beat this gout. That's a fact. But let me tell you, I drank 2 energy drinks per day for the last 25 years. I drank energy drinks just for the taste of the energy drink. Not that I had, something that was going on. No. I did that because I did that. I was like, that was regular. And there were times where I would drink the Coke, the Coca-Cola, and then I would go 6 months, 3 months.
Continue on Sawmill River Parkway South for 1.5 miles.
And I used it, not always just for rec, but, when I was in the bar business, I used it every night. I would have 2 cans every night for years. It was like my go-to thing, and you can't do that. That uric acid, your body can't. Once you hit 50, the kidney's like, whoa, I'm kind of old. I'm not going to work that hard anymore. You won't. And this information needs to be put out there, that the organs in your body are getting old like you are. Just because you got that melanin and you look better than somebody else or whatever have you, doesn't mean that inside your body, your organs, because the skin is an organ, and maybe we concentrate too much on the skin and forget about the insides. But I'm not gonna preach. That's not why I'm even saying this. I'm just saying that these organs need to be respected. My kidneys, and here's the craziest part. I would have 2 Coca-Colas 2 energy drinks and 4 glasses of water, 5 glasses of water. Some days on a good day I can have 7 glasses of water. And I always thought that the water was what was going to clean my system out. It was going to, the water was going to be like some sort of neutralizer. And it's not true. The water maybe did do some help. Maybe
Head south on Sawmill River Parkway South. Continue on Sawmill River Parkway South for half a mile.
I intend to. So if I was to, I've just been thinking about this, like, wow, like, we're not told, men are just not cared about enough. I mean, if this was a woman's issue, they would be doing all kind of tests to make sure, and I think it's all about the liver, because the way the uric acid is produced through the liver and then flushed out through the kidneys through your urine, and you're basically putting the sugar is becoming just like you would have put a beer into your liver. Your liver is filtering out that alcohol the same
Head south
way
on Sawmill River Parkway South.
it is the sugar.
In a quarter mile, keep right to continue on Henry Hudson Parkway. Follow signs for H. Hudson Parkway, New York 9A South.
That's my navigation. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's loud. I'm sorry. And what did it say for me to do? Take this south, or am I going to Shula? Marshalloux. I forget. My bad. The Marshalloux Parkway. I don't think I'm going Marshalloux. I think I'm going to take this, unless this is just. I would have to switch. I'm not. I didn't listen to the navigation when it said to do. But to me, this makes more sense if I'm going to be there realistic at a better time. So I'm sorry. I gotta click. I'll be right back. I promise. Sorry about that. So we're discussing how there's just no information. There's no fight for this. Today's the best. Today's the day. I have not walked properly since the 8th of last month. Since the 8th of last month, I have not been able to walk properly. Like, what would happen if I had a job, punching a clock, driving a truck, going Ubering, or even working in an office? Like, maybe I could do, if I work, depending on what position you're in, like, how could I cook for someone? How could I, and then talk about attitude. I mean, you're like, it's nothing like not being able to walk, and every time you try or even think about it, it's so much pain, like excruciating pain. I've contemplated doing Percocets. I contemplated like taking some pills because the pain was like unbearable. Like, it was insanity. And no one is advocating for this. No one is talking about this. No one is saying, yo, gout is no joke. You gotta let the sugar go. This is what's happening inside of your body every time you have more than this many teaspoons or this many grams of sugar. No one is speaking on that. No one cares. So, I'm doing the gout report right now, and after this, when I go pick up Ulrich, I'm gonna change the title, put the gout report, and then we're gonna get into the premium black news. So this gout report, I think, is a necessary thing. It's necessary for people with gout to not just walk around. Like, I'm afraid to take a step. I can walk upstairs I just can't walk down the stairs. And when I do walk down the stairs, it's one step at a time. It is absolutely positively insane. Painful. The most pain I've ever felt. And then I have my children there. I'm terrified to be a father who cannot be there for his children, cannot do the work and put in the work. And I did this to myself. Because I'm always thinking I'll be all right. You know, once I get to, I'm gonna start taking this thing more serious and Yo, no one ever told me that I would possibly. And you know what's interesting? When you go on the internet, or you Google all these kind of things and you're learning more about it, the first thing they tell you when you're learning about gout is all of the affluent people that had gout. That's the first thing they do, is they tell you that, Michelangelo had gout, and Einstein had gout. Whatever. They telling you all this stuff. Like, what are they trying to do here? They trying to make me feel like I'm part of some sort of unique minded group of people. What? Well, it sounds like you're saying that the rich people of their time that could afford to have massive amounts of sugar suffered from gout because their bodies weren't able to handle and process the sugar that they were just eating, while the peasants only had, the peasants got their Mars bars once every 2-3 months, or whatever the case is, whatever it is. Whatever Mars bar of your choice is. You see how I did that, right? Anyway, so this gout, we have trying to pay you attention and you ain't hitting the Cash App. Come on. I'm here to pick up Ulrich. See you soon. Bye. Boom.